Hello, I'm Kai Mackenzie. This is Solent Sports News at 1:30, keeping you up to date with all the sports news from around the world. Today, Everton have received a 10-point deduction, the highest in Premier League history, following a breach of financial fair play. The deduction sees them fall to 19th place. I'm now joined by Evan Pender, an expert in football finances. So Evan, how have Everton found themselves in this mess?
Well, recently, over the last few years, they've not had a lot of success as a club. And then their net spend, I think over the last 10 years, is 277 million in the negative, as well as their new stadium, which they've been building for a couple of years now. It costs 700 million, so that's almost $1 billion spend in the last 10 years over the course of everything.
And when you look at teams like Manchester City, who are under investigation still for 115 different charges, do you think it's fair that Everton have been found, they've been found guilty and punished so quickly compared to other teams in the league?
Yeah, well, they have been punished very quickly. They have appealed it, so I guess we'll see what the outcome of that is, and that will determine, I guess, whether it's fair or not.
And I mean, as we mentioned, they're now down to 19th, still only 2 points from escaping relegation as it stands. They've been in good form. How do you see this affecting their season coming into the Christmas period?
Yeah, well, I think they've got Sean Dyche as a manager. He's an expert, if you would say, at keeping teams up. He did very well for Burnley for a long time. They got 3 wins out of their last 5, which is going to be really important now that they picked up some good form. So if they can just keep it going, they can probably stay up.
Perfect. Thank you, Evan.
Cheers.
Colombia were helped to a 2-1 victory over Brazil with a brace from Luis Diaz, much to the delight of his father, who was reunited with his family this week after being held hostage for 12 days. Their team marches into 3rd in the World Cup qualifiers, hoping to secure World Cup football after missing out in 2022. Ahead of England's game this evening at Wembley, Liverpool's Trent Alexander-Arnold has spoken about his desire to cement his place in Gareth Southgate's Euro 2024 squad in Germany.
We spoke, me and the manager, in the summer about a midfield opportunity and trying to see and trying to see if we can make it work and how that could potentially look. There's been a definite newfound excitement for me. It's a huge opportunity, and it's one that I'm grateful to have, but also want to make sure I take it.
Southampton defender Taylor Harwood-Bellis has been spotted training with the England senior team ahead of their game against Malta tonight. Harwood-Bellis captained England's under-21 side to European Championship glory this summer before joining Southampton on loan from Manchester City, with a buy option if the Saints achieve promotion to the Premier League. I'm now joined by Finlay Ireland, our Southampton expert, to talk more. So Finn, obviously Harwood-Bellis is coming following the Saints' 5-0 defeat to Sunderland. How instrumental has he been to their recent upturn in form?
He had a difficult start. We lost to Ipswich and Leicester when he came in, but he seemed to have cemented a partnership with Jan Bednarak really well. He seemed to have adapted to how Russell Martin wants to play. And since then, he's played every game bar Preston, and we've been unbeaten in 8. So he's been really, really good.
And as we mentioned, that buy option is in place. If Southampton do manage to get promoted to the Premier League at the first time of asking, how do you see them exercising that right, and how important will he be to Premier League survival?
Oh, it'll be crucial. He's a really good defender. He's the England under-21s captained them to European Championship glory in the summer. And I think it's a no-brainer for Saints. It's no surprise that he's been training with the England senior squad. The England higher-ups clearly trust him. He's a well-respected person in the England camp, and I think it'll be a no-brainer for Saints. And he's already come out and said at the start of the season that if you offered him that chance to play with Southampton in the Premier League, he'd snap your hand off. So I think it's a no-brainer for the club and for him personally.
Thank you, Finlay. Earlier this week, Winchester City Football Club have announced plans to redevelop the Charters Community Stadium. The refresh of the ground will see new stands seeing an increase from the current 180 seats, as well as an all-weather artificial pitch and new floodlights. The citizens will play at home for the first time since this news tomorrow against Swindon Supermarine, who sit 21st in the league. Sticking in England, during Arsenal's 1-0 loss to Newcastle last week, Gunners manager Mikel Arteta was furious following his side's loss after conceding a controversial goal. A decision by VAR following an alleged push and the ball going out of play has sent Mikel Arteta over the edge, resulting in him being charged by the FA for calling the VAR officials a disgrace and an embarrassment.
Yeah, we have to talk about the result because you have to talk about how the hell this goal stand up, and it's incredible. I feel embarrassed, but I have to be the one now coming here to try to defend the club and please ask for help, because it's an absolute disgrace that this goal is allowed. It's an absolute disgrace.
Why do you think it's a disgrace?
Because it's not a goal. For many reasons, it's not a goal. For more than one reason at least, it's not a goal.
Now to the world of sports support, with Solent Ravens' Abby Ingham speaking to us about the world of cheerleading.
I'm Abby and I am the Season 14 game day coach alongside our president Ida. So we have multiple squads, we have dance and cheer ones. So we have our competitive cheer team, which is stunts and dancing. Then you have a stunt team, which is just purely stunts. Game day, which is at all the games, and we do a lot of performances as well. And then you've got hip hop, lyrical and jazz in terms of dance teams. We bring energy, we get the crowds hyped, we're there to perform, to show people what cheer is, that it's not just shaking palms. There's a lot more that go into it, but we're ultimately there to make sure that Solent teams win.
Charles Leclerc topped the opening day of practice on F1's return to Las Vegas. However, not everything was smooth sailing for this massive event. The opening practice session of the weekend was abandoned after a drain cover came loose and damaged Carlos Sainz and Esteban Ocon's car. Practice 2 started after a lengthy delay at 2:30 AM local time, which fans were not able to witness due to staffing issues. Australia through to Sunday's Cricket World Cup final after beating South Africa by 3 wickets, which will face host nations India. The hosts go into the fixture as heavy favourites and will be hoping to do it in front of 132,000 people at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. Across the pond, Tiger Woods' 14-year-old son Charlie has won a high school state team championship, achieving something his father never could. The early success paves a good path to keep the Woods legacy truly alive, as Tiger's latest injury means his future is uncertain. Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk went face-to-face last night ahead of their fight on the 17th of February. The two will fight it out to be crowned the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Fury was up to his usual antics at the press conference.
You're welcome to share in the ring with the future heavyweight undisputed champion, me. Yous are all dossers, he's getting knocked out, and yous two are going to be working for me carrying me bag slinks. So remember that. Remember I said it on this stage.
Let the fight go on.
Let's get the press conference going, sausage.
Win.
Let your man
and
talk.
Let the belts come back home to Ukraine. Thank you, ladies
I already
and
relieved
gentlemen.
one Ukrainian of all the belts.
Glory
and
to
I
the
relieved
heroes.
that idiot of the belts I gave him.
That's all for now. I'll be back at 1:30 with more news. For more updates, check out our website, solentsportsnews.com. Thank you.